and the Super 6 dancer not quite super enough. The Hammerhead.
It's got to be Pauly D.
Yeah. It's Pauly D.
Yes!
Straight up.
Yes!
Wow. Kevin Hart.
Oh.
The Situation.
Oh, it's David Dobrik.
Woo! Nice.
Take it off.
A sexy stripper was revealed on The Masked Dancer. In this week's recap show, we talk about the top 3 performances of the week, how one contestant was exposed by his own wife on social media, and Detective Kyle finally exposes the most requested contestant, the Cotton Candy. Hi, I'm Samantha.
And I'm Kyle.
And welcome to the Masked Dancer Recap Show. You guys, I'm filling in for Mel this week. We know she's the queen of the Masked Dancer, but she will be back. But for right now, it's me and Kyle ready to talk about what happened in this week's episode. So Kyle, what did you think about the episode overall?
Yeah, well, first of all, it's great to see you, Samantha. If you guys don't already know, Samantha writes all of the recap articles that we have on Talent Recap for Masked Dancer. So she is right in lock in step with everything we're doing here. But tonight's episode I thought was great. I mean, you know, we saw a lot of great performances. And then, of course, the big reveal at the end was the Hammerhead.
Yeah, I mean, that one for me was kind of fun because he had all these high energy performances. And I'm a fan of the Jersey Shore, so when I saw it was Vinny, I was all excited and giddy. But that one was actually the first contestant you exposed this season. And I give you major props because you didn't really know a lot of the clues. You really didn't know a lot of the secrets and information, but you somehow still got it right.
Yeah, you know, that was a big risk for us. Proud of that one. We didn't have a lot of clues because we revealed that in an episode that we taped like within an hour of the premiere episode happening. So we really did a lot of quick sleuthing and found and figured out who it was. So it was very reassuring when we saw the Hammerhead was unmasked and it was Vinny from Jersey Shore. It was a huge sigh of relief for me.
Yeah, and like Paula kind of got it right. Like she had one guess, then she went back to Vinny, then she thought it could be someone else from Jersey Shore.
I said that today. You did. I said it was you earlier. I don't know why you didn't stick with that. Oh my God.
And like I love that she's a little wacky with her guesses sometimes. But that one was crazy. I'm proud of you.
Yeah, and like we were saying last week, Paula has been on fire this season. I feel like she's making really smart guesses. And, you know, we don't usually see that from the judges on these shows. And so I think her predictions are right in the right wheelhouse. And I think that's, you know, kind of what makes her fun to watch, along with her just being crazy.
Not Mike the Situation or Pauly, but it could be Vinny from Jersey Shore.
Oh.
But, you know, after not having seen her on TV since like the American Idol days in this kind of capacity, it's been really fun to have her back. And from what I would say, better than ever.
Yeah, and she was throwing out some pretty hilarious questions during the new rapid fire segment that they had this week. It was like the most confusing 15 seconds of my life. Like they're asking questions like, do you work out? Do you like bread? What's your favorite color? Like Ashley Tisdale, her questions were just like,
has it been hard being away from your family during this?
Yes.
Yeah, Ashley Tisdale like repeatedly asking if they missed their family. I was like, I don't really understand what the point of this is. But, you know, I think there were some helpful questions in there, but overall it was just a chaotic 15 seconds of rapid fire questions at these dancers that may or may not help us at all determine who is under the masks.
Definitely have to give some props to our guest judge, Whitney Cummings, who was super fun. And I actually feel like she had some pretty decent guesses too. I mean, she is like a comedic relief, and I think they're like honestly killing it with the guest judges this season.
Yeah, I think so too. And I loved the little bit where she like called Kate Upton to confirm that she wasn't on The Masked Dancer. I thought that was really funny too. And so I just think these guest panelists add a little extra dynamic to the show, even though we already have 4 judges as it starts with. You know, it's kind of good to get some new blood in there and people who don't have, you know, some of the background that the other judges do to just come in and give their guess based on what they're seeing in this one episode.
And they had some awesome performances to judge in this episode. So we definitely have to get through our top 3 performances of the week. So Kyle, let us know who's at number 3.
At number 3, we have Exotic Bird dancing to Rush by Lewis Capaldi. I thought Exotic Bird's performance this week was one of her best. I think it's really easy to show a lot of energy and have a lot of fun on the stage when you're doing upbeat songs, but she slowed it down this week and really showed that she is a good technical dancer too.
Yeah, and I think that this performance was more vulnerable than the other times where she was simply just shaking her tail feather. And I got motherly vibes out of it. Even when the judges were asking her questions and they asked her that one question about missing her family, and I'm like, this is a sweet motherly person. And it was just really nice to see her take a more lyrical approach to her dance this week. So the guesses for the Exotic Bird, they kind of had me laughing a little bit because they were just all over the place. We had Ashley Graham, who supermodel, beautiful, is known for walking runways. Would she really do the show? I don't know.
Yeah, or Kat Von D. I mean, they were all really random, and I think they were really focusing on this modeling and on the tattoo, but all the clues aren't as literal as I think that they're taking them, right? Because there are a lot of actors or singers or athletes who also do modeling, and I think that's probably a better bet for the Exotic Bird.
Yeah, they should probably explain the clue thing to Ken because some of his guesses are just bizarre, but I think we should get into our number 2 performance of the week. We have the Sloth dancing to Ain't That a Kick in the Head. And let me tell you, this performance was so fun. The dancing was insane. And anyone that can do a triple pirouette on a stage, on television, I know that you are a trained dancer.
Totally. I think Sloth was messing with everyone the first few weeks, trying to hold back and play it cool. But now he's showing his dancing skills. I mean, this obviously has to be someone who's a professional dancer, has some background in that, because like you said, some of the skills that they're doing are not something that a comedian like John C. Reilly or Will Ferrell could pull off.
Or Sacha Baron Cohen, who Paula Abdul knows it's not Sacha Baron Cohen because she was literally in his movie. But we got to get into the exciting number 1 performance of the week. Kyle, who do you think it is?
And our number 1 performance of the week was Tulip dancing to Thank You Next by Ariana Grande. Now, a lot of people are going to give us slack because Cotton Candy wasn't in our top 3 this week. And I think she's a really solid performer and dancer in general, but I think she had kind of an off week, and that really gave Tulip this chance to just come out and shine.
Yeah, I think for the first few weeks, the Tulip was second to Cotton Candy a little bit because, the Cotton Candy did all that aerial work and all that, and that was really impressive. But this week, the Tulip was nah, I'm going to do a fun, high energy routine. Forget structure. Let me show off my very clear dancing skills and my TikTok skills. And I just really loved it. I thought it was fun and just super youthful because it's very clear that this is a young person underneath the mask.
Yeah, and I think that's why so many of the guesses are gearing towards TikTok stars like Charli D'Amelio and, young dancers and stuff like that, because again, all the clues kind of point that direction. She even made the joke, when they were talking about where they want to retire, she was like, I've never thought of that. So this is clearly someone, young. So I think we're all kind of circling around who this could be.
Yeah, I mean, I think when I retire, I'm going to be out in Disney World or something like that. But you guys, you have been harassing us, telling us every single week that we need to expose the cotton candy. If we don't expose the cotton candy, you're gonna unsubscribe. Please don't do that, because right here today, Kyle is going to be finally exposing the cotton candy. So Kyle, who is it?
Yes, it's finally time, and the cotton candy is, drum roll, Gabby Douglas. Yeah, are you surprised by that, Samantha? You look shocked.
I'm a bit shocked because I've been riding the Simone Biles train since the very beginning. I just feel like it was obviously a gymnast, we got that, but just the height, and she has some clear dancing ability, and Simone was on Dancing with the Stars. So I just put all those together and I was like, Simone Biles. And apparently a lot of people on Twitter and YouTube felt that way too.
Yeah, a lot of people have been guessing Simone Biles or figure skaters because there have been some clues kind of around that as well. But all of the clues point to cotton candy being Gabby Douglas. So let's go through them. First of all, we saw a bowl of cornflakes in the first clue package, and Gabby Douglas appeared on a box of cornflakes with the members of the Fierce Five, and it was like one of the fastest selling cereal boxes ever. We also saw an English breakfast, and the first Olympics that she competed in were the 2012 Olympics in London. So that checks out. She also mentioned being an all-around whiz kid, and Gabby Douglas competes in all-around gymnastics. That's like, you know, one of the terms that they use. She also talks about moving away from her family, and Gabby Douglas moved from Virginia to Des Moines, Iowa as a kid to train full-time with her coach. We also saw a clock that had L, I, F, and E filling in some of the numbers, which is a nod to Lifetime, where she had a biopic film called The Gabby Douglas Story. We also saw a 3 on some weights she was using, and Gabby Douglas has won 3 gold medals. That also lines up with the 4 total gold medals that have been touted as, you know, the accomplishments of all of the celebrities on this season. So with her 3 and 1 from our zebra prediction, Oscar de la Hoya, that makes the 4 total. We also saw lips on cupcakes, and we saw her leaning on a lipstick, and she has a lipstick line with Beauty Bakery. So that's another one of those clues that just kind of perfectly lines up. She talks about practicing balance, which is obviously a dynamic of gymnastics, and balance beam is one of the events. We also saw a 5 and a 2, which is a nod to her height, 5'2". We saw a USA pin, and she was competed as part of Team USA in the Olympics. And then on this week's clues, we saw some Olympic ring kind of nods on this practice poster, which again points to the Olympics. We also saw her hold 5 gold balloons, which is pointing to her 5 gold medals that she's won between World Championships and the Summer Olympics. And in the rapid fire segment tonight, she talks about being known for being fit, which obviously Gabby Douglas is. And finally, before the season even started, we got some clues on Instagram. And her clue was that she spent a Christmas vacation on the ocean. And Gabby Douglas talked about in an interview a few years ago how she was going to spend Christmas on a Caribbean cruise. So again, that perfectly lines up. And all of this points to cotton candy being Gabby Douglas.
Okay, well, I'm blown away, and let me just say, if you ever want to work as a private investigator, like, definitely go fulfill that dream, because that was just insane. I don't know how I didn't pick up on the Beauty Bakery makeup line clue, because I'm, like, obsessed with makeup, and I was just kind of, like, going with social media, you know, they were saying, like, Julianne Hough, Sophie Dossi, Simone Biles, and but now it just all makes sense that it's Gabby. And to further prove that, I was on her Instagram, and I saw on her story, she posted a picture doing this stance with like her legs open and her arm in the air. And that's the same stance that the cotton candy does in all the promo pictures for the Masked Dancer. In all of her performances, she does that. So like, if you kind of put 2 and 2 together, you're like, that literally makes so much sense. Oh, I don't know how you do this, Kyle. This is so exciting, but also nerve-wracking.
Yeah, and so if you guys agree with us, let us know in the comments below. Or if you don't agree with us, if we missed any clues, let us know in the comments below, and maybe we'll feature in next week's video.
Luckily, I won't be here next week for you guys to tell me that my Simone Biles guess is wrong down below in the comments. But I think we should get into the comment of the week. And every week we choose a comment because we love talking to you guys and hearing all of your predictions. And this week we chose a comment from Luke Balch, and he's basically yelling at Mel and Kyle for not exposing the cotton candy sooner. So he said, why expose the sloth when he exposed himself on social media? Could you expose someone else like the cotton candy? Well, Luke, you finally got what you've been asking for.
Finally got it. And the first thing that he addresses in that comment too about how the sloth exposed himself, what he's referring to there is Max was out with his, and again, Max was our prediction for the sloth, Max from Dancing with the Stars, and he was recently photographed with his wife out in West Hollywood, and she was wearing a "Don't Talk to Me" sweatshirt, like what the people competing on Masked Singer and Masked Dancer get. And so a lot of people are saying, oh my gosh, he gave himself away. And yeah, I mean, it seems like he kind of did, right, Samantha?
It's like, why do they give away these hoodies and why do they sell them online? Because it's people are exposing themselves and it kind of like ruins the fun a little bit on the show, because this is literally what we wait for every week, the person to take their mask off. And now that we already know who it is, it's like, what's the fun in that? But you guys should stay tuned though, because there's only one contestant left to expose, which is the tulip. And I know that's one that you guys have been waiting for. And Kyle is on the case, so he will be doing that in the coming weeks. But in the meantime, I think we're done talking about the Super 6 and the top 5. Kyle, let them know where they can find you.
Yeah, you can follow me at KMontPleasure on Instagram and Twitter.
And if you want to follow me on Instagram, it's at SamanthaX373. And while you're on YouTube, you should hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. Follow Talent Recap on all social medias and head over to talentrecap.com because we have all the scoop on the Masked Dancer. And I think it's time for us to say, and that's our Talent Recap. Hey, what are you doing tonight? Well, I think you should hit that subscribe button down below and then we can talk.